Welcome, intro to Unit 2. I am super excited. I even had to change the color of the top of it because we used to do red. Now we're going to move to a sky blue. Can't see it so great because something's going on with the projector, but it's cool. Unit 2 is transformations in the coordinate plane. So we're going to start out with translations, but I want to give you a little bit of background on the coordinate plane if you're not used to it. The coordinate plane is this. It's a grid, and all the squares are 1 unit by 1 unit in height and length. They're all squares, okay? I drew these two lines really kind of bad because I didn't think you could see the lines that were on the graph anyway. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is the Cartesian coordinate plane. You're just going to hear me see it as a graph or a coordinate plane. The up and down axis, we call that the y-axis, okay? And the left and right axis is labeled the x-axis, okay? Now, there are infinite amount of points on this graph, or this grid, infinite. But for now, we're just going to mess around with the ones that actually have an intersection, right? So ones that actually have a point, and that's called a coordinate point, or an ordered pair. Now, an ordered pair has to have two numbers in it, an x value and a y value. Think about a map like if you were following a map to a buddy's house or something. You need to know directions, right? So let's talk about directions a little bit. This right here is called the origin. And that point is labeled as 0, 0. And yes, this is what you have to do every time when you represent a point on the coordinate graph. 2 parentheses with a number in between and that. The first value represents the x value, and the second value represents the y value. Now, to make this a little bit easier for you, let's make a point somewhere in here. Let's say I wanted to go and plot the point 3, 2. Now remember, that's an x point, and then that's a y point. So the first value represents how many units I need to go right or left. So because that's a positive 3, I'm going to start at the origin, and I'm going to go 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now I don't make a point there because that's not the point. It's a different point. The next point that says here on the coordinate graph is I have to go up 2 units, because remember, this is the y-axis, so I got to go up 2. This is my point 3, 2. Okay? So just to give you a little bit of background on that. Now, what if I had negatives? Oh, great question, right? So let's say I wanted to plot the point -4, -2. Okay? So I'm going to start at the origin again, and I'm going to go to the left, because left will designate negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then negative for the y also designates as a 2, down. So I need to go down 2 units, 1, 2. So this is the point -4, -2. All right, so we're going to play a lot with this type of stuff, especially this unit and then a couple units next semester. But you need to get real used to using this as your graphing mechanism. Okay? All right, so transformations in the coordinate plane. Are we talking about the movie? No, because Michael Bay's just going to blow stuff up, and we're not going to do that, right? So the first transformation we're going to talk about, right, and transformation is something that we take in the coordinate plane and we move it somehow or change it somehow, okay? So just like Optimus Prime, right? He's like a, I don't know, it's like a truck, and then he becomes this like humanoid robot type thing, blows stuff up. We're gonna do all that except for the blowing stuff up. Translations are the easiest ones. That's the first one we're gonna learn. It's the only one you're gonna learn today. A translation. They're called slide transformations. Basically, and this is why we start with these because they're so easy. You just follow the directions. It just tells you where to go, right? So I'm gonna give you a point or a shape in the coordinate plane. I'm going to tell you exactly where to go with it or what to do with it. Okay? So for instance, I've got a point here, and I hope you can see these grid lines a little bit better. So this is the origin, right? I'm going to make a small dot. Now that's the point, and that's so funny because I didn't even think of it. How ironic. This is the point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So this is the point 3, 2 on the coordinate graph. Cool. Now, example 1 says translate the point labeled as R. Now we have to label these points as something. Okay? And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in class. From 3, 2, now here's where the direction comes in. We want to do 5 units up and 3 units to the right. Okay, so let's do that. 5 units up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. This is my new point. Now this is why we have to label these points. This is called R prime, and we're just going to put a little kind of hash mark up there because it has to designate what was the point and what's the new point. The new point has that little prime thing, and yes, Optimus Prime, you want to Optimus Prime this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? What are the new coordinates? Well, let's count it, right? So from the origin, we always start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I know that's going to have a 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the new point is going to be R prime 6, 7. that's my new coordinate pair. Okay? That's one way you're going to see these written. Okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to show you a different kind of way it might be represented. R is 3, 2. Okay? You might see this as well. You might see, to translate it, okay, x plus 3, comma, y plus 5. Now, don't freak out. That's exactly what we just did. But instead of me actually writing out the directions for you, I gave you that. Okay? I'm going to add 3 to the x value, which we did. We made it 3 to 6. And then I'm going to add 5 to the y value, which is there too. Okay? So you may see it like that as well. The third way you're going to see this is they're actually going to be like arrows. And this is called like a vector. Okay, a vector. All right, we're going to talk more about that later. And I would just do something like that. It's all 3 of these things. The way it's written, number 1. This nonsense, number 2. And then this, number 3. Oh, 3. There are 3 ways you may see a translation being kind of explained to you. So we're going to talk more about that in class. I'm going to stop there because I'm already over 6 minutes. Translations, easiest ones. Just follow the directions. Okay, we'll do a lot of these in class on Wednesday/Friday. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.